Hey, what's up, Smurf? Yeah. Not excited for what? Not excited for what? This game? I don't care about Grand Theft Auto. The only reason it's such a big deal is because it's taken them, like, over a decade to make a new game. They've been running the same game for 10 years now. They've made, like, 3 versions of the same game. It's the only reason it's a big deal. They don't crap those out as quick as Call of Duty games, so... This isn't inherently a bad thing, but they've definitely milked 5 to death. There's kids that have grown up with, like, only Grand Theft Auto 5. The people that grew up with 3, or like 1 through 3, had so many different games, but there's kids that have legit grown up with only 5 being the only game. It's the same thing with Mario Kart. Yeah, Rockstar games have shit gameplay. They try to be too realistic, and it's to the point of not being fun. That's how all their games are. They don't care for their hyper-realism approach. I just don't find realistic games interesting to me. Everybody was complaining about how janky Red Dead Redemption 2 was because they try to make it, like, realistic. I'm like, okay, but that's not fun. I don't need the hyper-realism, man. Just make the game fun. Why are there so few open-world games with, like, superpowers? It's pretty much like Spider-Man is, like, the main one. Damn, got shredded. All the Rockstar games have trash gameplay. They always have. It was a little bit better in the PS2 era because they didn't try to be so hyper-realistic because the hardware didn't allow it. As soon as they started making HD games, their games just got, like, way worse. I'm like, man, I don't need hyper-realism. I need to, like, pick up gas and get groceries and shit. I'd rather do it in real life, man. Like, at least there's some kind of benefit. You're eating actual food, you're walking and burning calories. You're getting sunlight. I don't want to do that shit in a video game, man. Stop with the menial tasks and just doing boring stuff. It's the same thing with all these walking sims that come out. I'm like, dude, I'll walk in real life. I have to, actually. I don't have a car. I'll walk in real life. I don't want to do it in a video game. I don't want it to be the primary focus, is just walking. It's just boring, man. Yeah, at least I, like, burn calories, and I get vitamin D and sunlight, and I take care of shit I need to do, you know? Like, I don't need my video game character to be that hyper-realistic. It's just too much. I just don't get the appeal. I don't know, so many of the popular games are just like doing chores. And I'm like, if I want to do chores, I'd rather do it in real life where there's an actual real life benefit. And not just do this boring task that you don't like in real life, do it in a video game. And like the game is supposed to be an escape. Makes no damn sense to me, man. Hold on, DFO is updating. I was gonna play that, but I guess it's in maintenance, so we'll play something else. Rockstar's gonna make you like get gas in that game, and you're gonna have like a hunger gauge. You burn too many calories, you get hungry, your guys gotta eat. So the car's out of gas. You gotta go make some money somehow to get more gas. And I'm like, man, no thanks. That's why the Spider-Man and Batman games are so popular, because they managed to keep doing the forced walking and the chores and stuff to a minimum. The Spider-Man games, it's mostly they force you to play as Mary Jane. And then sometimes you have to play as Peter, and he just like walks around and jacks off. But they do keep it to a pretty respectable minimum compared to other stuff. The Batman games as well. Though with Batman, it's a lot harder to put that crap into the game because of just the way that Batman works, where he really only operates as Batman at night. They put him in situations where he doesn't have time or even the capacity to go, I don't know, trim his toenails or whatever. It's mostly the Rockstar games that really beat you over the head with just do this boring thing that you don't like doing in real life. You need to do it in the game. You need to do it in the game. You haven't had enough of it in real life, clearly. Having to go get gas and worry about paying your rent and shit. No, the Batman port is terrible, yeah. I mean, that should be no surprise to anyone. They haven't learned anything from the Vita, because they did the exact same thing on the Vita. Let's port this game that the hardware can't handle, and let's put it on there anyway. And then basically the only people that buy it are gullible idiots who don't do research or realize like a $300 Steam Deck can run the games like twice as good. And they're like, those games are like $5. They're like $5 on Steam. You don't need a good computer to play them. A Steam Deck can do it. A Steam Deck can do like around 40 to 50 FPS on Arkham Knight, I think. It can completely clear the first two games as well. It could do 60 like no problem. But because it's on the Switch, it costs like $70 for some reason. That's why I'm glad I have a Steam Deck now. I got so sick of the Switch tax. The Switch tax was just awful. Like, dude, this is a garbage port. This game is on sale on Steam, like, for $5, like, every week. And you're gonna charge me, like, 20 times that. Well, it's more like 12 times. They're gonna charge you, like, 12 times the price it costs on PC for a worse experience. I got real tired of that real quick. That's why I'm glad I don't have, not really use the Switch for anything but exclusives anymore. Well, they had to make a lot of sacrifices to get Witcher 3 on Switch. And the porting studios, the people that work on the ports for the Switch are not created equal. There's some really amazing ports on the Switch. There's, I heard the Hogwarts Legacy port is actually pretty good. There's, The Witcher is one you just mentioned. I think the Borderlands games are decent. Doom Eternal and Doom 2016 are, like, good ports. They're still shit compared to playing on even just a base PS4, but they're not all created equal. A lot of these companies just cheap out because the only real end goal is just to put it out before the holidays. So a lot of kids don't have modern consoles, or maybe like only the older person in the family does. So they're totally capitalizing on that. That's how it's always been. You can sell the worst product as long as it's available during the holiday season. Soccer moms will just buy it for their kid and they won't look. It's been going on since the 80s. I think there were so many shitty licensed games back then. All the LGN and Acclaim games were hot garbage. But as a kid, you would get excited because it was based on a movie or TV show that you liked, and your parents could buy it for you, and you get home and realize it's a piece of garbage. Just rushed out. Rushed out to meet a deadline. I don't even know why they even bothered porting it. That's like the most crazy example of Switch tax. Because you can get, those games are on sale. The entire trilogy is like, what, like $5–10 tops? And they want like $60 for it. They want AAA price for that. It's nuts. There's no way to validate that, how much they want for those old-ass games. Arkham Knight is almost a decade old. Kingstone Flash. Battle Hopper. Kingstone Flash. So, Raida Punch. Kingstone Flash. Yes! Yes! Rider kick! Kinkstone flash! Beautiful. This game is a work of art. This is Kamen Rider Battride War Genesis. With upscaling and a 1080, what's it called, a 60 FPS mod. I'm just messing around with the Showa Riders right now. They're like the most mechanically sound characters in this game, for the most part. Some exceptions, because they don't have so many forms. But go ahead and play as Black again. Let's see here. I really wish you could play as Z-Cross. Major buzzkill. They don't let you play as him. So we'll level up Chaser. We'll level up Chaser. I forgot how he plays.
Kamen Rider Black.
Battle Hopper.
よし行くぞ
友と戦うことはつらい。俺になってくれ。
ライダーチャー任せろライダーチャーライダー任せろライダーチャーキングストーンクラッシュライダー
Oh, beautiful. Finish him off the Kingstone Flash. Oh man, this shit is so good. I miss this game. I really wish they would make a sequel. But it's not gonna happen. It's one of the underrated Muso games. Especially now that it doesn't run at a shit frame rate anymore. That definitely helps. So that was the worst thing about this game, is the combat is good enough you want, but not terrible frame rate, but it ran at 30 FPS capped on all platforms. You could do some cool stuff in this game, depending on the character you're playing. Black is kind of basic. You gotta let him do his pose, and then he could do some stuff. He could do some stuff, but if you don't do the charge, he's kind of not very fun. ぞ。
友と戦うことは辛い。俺には経験がある。
左遷ライダーチャー
キングストーンフラッシュ。
見事な
トゥライダーキックお見事手強いもう俺が許さんライダーチャートゥ任せろライダーチャー任せろライダーチャー左遷バトルホッ
ハッパ
左遷ライダー任せろキングストーン
見事
ライダーキック任せろもう俺が許さライダーチャー手強い任せろライダーチャーキングストーンフラッシュ行くぞライダーチャー力だお見事任せろライダーサバのようなやつ俺が打ち砕いてやる任せろ手強いキングストーンフラッシュ見事ライダーキック見事もう俺が許さん左遷ライダートワーバトルホッパー行くぞ任せろライダーチャーキングストーン見事ライダーキック任せろもう俺がライダーチャーキングストーン
見事
まだだもう俺が許さキングストーン
よくやった
左遷左遷ライダーどこまでも突き進んでやるキングストーン
見事な技だ。
左遷ライダーこの俺が許さバトルホッパー左遷ライダーチャー任せろライダーチャーライダーチャー俺らのライダー左遷ライダーチャーキングストーンつもりかバトルホッパー
Oops. Bike cancels. Alright, we're gonna rider kick this fool.
ライダー任せろ
Dark Kiva.
ライダーチャー任せろライダーチャーキングストーンフラッシュライダーキック行くぞ
Oh no, I fucked up. No.
俺たちは無敵だ
Oh, I still got him. The rider kick is invincible. The ultimate fighting technique.
いやー、大物だね。
この身が砕けようと俺は戦い続ける
And I actually don't remember how Chaser plays. He was post-launch DLC. Let's go ahead and try him next. Don't quite remember. He might need the guard cancel figure. I think we can do that. Where is he? Where's Chaser? It just won't save if I don't like him. Now he can guard cancel, so that should help. Tokan boost sucks. Oops.
俺は生きとし生ける者すべての仮面ライダー戦う戦士チェイス脳細胞トップギャここは俺に任せろ逃がさん食らえ協力しようチェイスまたお前と一緒に戦えて嬉しいわやる次は誰逃がさん逃がさん逃がさん
おりゃイサッツYou're getting rider kick, son. He sucks. Oh yeah, I think he has his form from the movie, a Super Machine Chaser or whatever it's called. I think he does have that. Yeah, because Drive was long over when they shipped this game. Yeah, Chaser's alright. Who else have I not tried? Haven't tried Beast. Birth. Ixa, Zeranos, Ibuki, Garen, Kaiza, Knight. Agito G3. Is on Gits. I haven't tried stronger yet, actually. Let's try stronger. Let's try stronger. Alright.
俺の名は仮面ライダーストロンガー
Stronger.
邪魔なんだよ。
天が呼ぶ地が呼ぶ人が呼ぶ悪を倒せと俺を呼ぶ俺は正義の戦士仮面ライダーストロンガーエレクトロファイヤーどれエレクトロファイヤーと行くか
俺の
エレクトロサンダー
戦うしかない
ストロンガー電気俺電気マグネットカブトロー
Electro Fire!
本物だから返したこれ
電気マグネッ
俺たちの時代だ。
Electro Fire! Oh!
Capital!
！Scanning charge! Electro Fire!
次はどのメダルでいこうかな。
What's up, Abby? Hello. think Stronger has the worst suit. Because it looks like he's wearing a life vest. I'm not a big fan of Stronger's suit. I like a lot of the other Showa Rider suits. I don't think they're as bad as a lot of younger people think. But yeah, Stronger's suit is kinda ass. I don't really like his suit. Alright. Let's finish this. I think I'll play some Memory of Heroes. Let's see how I feel like playing now. I tried pretty much all the Showa Riders. I like Black a lot more than I thought I would, actually. He's not bad. It's pretty much just Amazon, V3, and X. I haven't tried X at all. Go ahead and level him up. Yeah, I bought them some treats. Bought them some treats earlier. I went to the grocery store. Cheetos Popcorn was very happy. He got some treats, and then Stash showed up as well. Stash has a penchant for just appearing out of nowhere. Mommy was there too, of course. Y'all got some treats. And feed the kids. Where's Blade King Form? There it is. Cheetos Popcorn wouldn't let me... He wouldn't let me go to the store. He was gonna follow me to the store, pretty much. He's been very thankful. Just had to show him a little kindness. He's happy. He's a good boy. He comes to his name now. If I say Cheetos Popcorn, he starts running. Idol stick. Idol stick. Oh, you're gonna get it. X kick. Kick! Ah, landing is important. I love this game so much, man. You don't get the rider kick and barely anything else. I really like how they implemented it. You have to actually land it like they do in the show. Well, it depends. Some of them have pretty monster hitboxes. Let's play some Memory of Heroes. Let's play some Memory of Heroes. Since I'm doing Tokusatsu Week, let's go ahead and switch over. Switch emulator up. Jeez, I played that for 20 hours. It's pretty nuts because I probably put in like several dozen on PS4. I love Zero 2. I really like this form. A lot of people don't like Zero 2. I actually think it looks really cool. I'm not a big fan of the really big rider forms where they're like super bulky. I think it looks cooler when they're sleek. It's not as bad as Cross X Saber, which is like just a recolor. At least it looks unique. Let's give him the infinite stamina. I'll play as 0-1 for a little bit. He doesn't have the infinite stamina. Yeah, let's go with this, because I like playing as 0-2. Let's go with that. Alright. Zero 2 rise! Warimasu.
アイダ博士の ID を
おっとまた敵か。行こう。
That was fucking cool, man. The style switch combos in this game.
お見事。
順調にメモリを手に入れ、あの大きなゲートの向こう。
糸メタル。
どうだ。
セキュリティロックが解除されました。
This game looks really nice upscaled. The 1080p and then 120 FPS, so it's running like 4 times better. I don't know what the native rest of this game is on Switch. It's probably 720. I don't know, maybe it is 1080p 30 docked, but whatever. Definitely should have uncapped this on PS4, at least PS4 Pro. There's the combat is pretty legit. It's hard to enjoy it when it's so choppy. I like how the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer leaked and they just put it out early. What I'm hearing is that because they put it as a premiere, I guess somebody like extracted the raw video file and put it on the internet, and they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna release it now." Why would you make something that high profile a premiere? That's just asking for that to happen. It's just like, come on. If you want it to be, like, actually preserved, then don't make it a premiere. I don't know how you do that, but somehow they got the raw video file and they put it online. Well, I mean, it's a Rockstar game. What gameplay is there? What gameplay is there in the first place? There is no gameplay. Their games are devoid of fun. I gotta plug in my external to play this game, so give me a moment. They could have just shown the Grand Theft Auto logo and a number 6 and it still would have, like, had record-breaking views, and they know that. They're also revealing it way too soon. I think a lot of people were under the impression it was going to be coming next year, but it's 2025. And I'm willing to bet that's going to be a holiday release, so it really is, like, probably 2 years away. I don't know why people are applauding them for revealing it. They should have revealed it when it was less than a year away. It was like, that doesn't mean shit. 2025, which means that they're going to, like, drip feed information on it and try to keep it in the public eye. They're going to have, like, a really long marketing for that, I guess. I guess that's what they're trying to do, but as somebody who doesn't care about Grand Theft Auto, that shit still pisses me off. I can't stand when they do that. I don't want to know about the game until it's a year or less away. I'm, like, totally not interested if it's going to be that far away. I've gotten really tired of the way that they market video games. That's why a lot of the stuff that I like, they actually don't do that, because they know that they don't have as big of an audience. They know they don't have as big of an audience. They can't market it for that long. They don't have the resources or the money to do that. It's like, hey, here's this game we've been working on for how many years? By the way, you know, here's, like, full gameplay really quick. And then the game's out in, like, 9 months. Instead of this, we're gonna show you no gameplay, and then you gotta wait, like, at least a year and a half. I like how the trailer was so hyped, and it's basically just a movie trailer. You can't really parse anything about how that game will actually play. Which I think are the worst video game trailers. The worst video game trailers are when you can't even... There's nothing to even theorize or speculate about. They really just show you cutscenes from a movie. Those are the worst trailers. They don't get me excited at all. I'm like, alright, it's cool that you showed this, but where's the game? Where's the actual game? hey, Konami's not gonna make a game anymore. Why not? There hasn't been a Goemon game in like 20 years. More than that. I think the last one was like, what, like 2001? It's been a long time. Did this on my first try. I'm trying to do no damage. I guess I haven't played in a few days. Yeah, Konami is just... They're just farming out their IPs to other companies, indie studios. I gave Getsu Fumaden a chance, and they dropped the ball. They scammed people. So if they show something at the Game Awards, like, hey, here's Castlevania 5 or something, and it's early access, I don't know if I'm gonna fall for it. Getsu Fumaden wasn't bad, it's just they cut support. They didn't finish the game. They straight up lied. I wasn't expecting that to happen from Konami. When I play like random early access games, it comes with the reality that like, hey, they might not finish this game. But it's Konami of all people. I thought that there was at least some security. There ended up being none. They put the game in 1.0 and didn't add any content. They just released the game and said it was finished. Like, no, it's not. Hot take. Rogue Core wasn't that bad. I got like halfway through it. It wasn't terrible. What was terrible was the engine that it was on. The engine... There was just a lot of hate for that game. A lot of people didn't play it. It actually was not that bad. What was bad was that it had like... felt like 10 frames of input lag. And it ran at 30 FPS on all platforms. So it felt like mud. And I feel like that was enough to make it not worth playing. I put up with it for a while. Eventually, the frame rate started to make me feel nauseous, so I had to stop. But it's not like the game running better would have helped its public perception or consensus, but it's well documented how you could go look up how bad the input lag is in that game. It's actually relatively difficult as well. It's not an easy game. They managed to keep a lot of the Contra challenge while still having all the Borderlands loot and stuff. Which is pretty commendable if you ask me, but they did a shit job actually optimizing the game, so it felt terrible to play. I feel like that's why it's not worth playing. Sometimes people hate on games too much. And it's like, you know, this game isn't that bad. It's just a bunch of big YouTubers, you know, shit on it. They dogpile it. It's like, it's not always that bad. The thing about Rogue Core is that if you do give it a chance, the technical failures of the game make you not want to. And that's more than enough reason to not want to try it. Because we're in an age where people actually care about... People actually started caring about performance. No, it's nowhere near as bad as those games, but it also runs worse than those games too, so... I think that needs to be something that's mentioned. The PS1 Legacy of War ran at like 60 FPS. And the new one, the Rogue Core, does not. It runs at like 20. Runs at like 20, and it feels like a full second of input lag. Yeah, I can't fault anybody for not trying it. You know, I understand. But at the same time, the core experience of the game is so bad that the game, like the performance is so bad. I can't fault anyone for being like, yeah, I don't want to try this because it runs like shit. I'm like, yeah, I don't blame you. I definitely don't think we should count clickbait YouTubers as the be-all end-all opinion of every piece of media that comes out, but I never really heard anyone talking about that for the most part. It was mostly a couple of the more performance-focused channels were talking about how badly it ran. Everyone else was just shitting on it because of the graphics. Like, yeah, the gameplay is actually not bad. You know, if somebody could mod that game to get rid of the input lag and make it run at least 60 FPS, I'd probably go back and finish it. But it got to the point where, you know what, I was like, I don't hate this game, but I hate how it runs. And I feel like because they put zero effort into making it actually run at a playable frame rate, it's not worth my time. That was kind of how I felt. Because there's plenty of other stuff to play out there that doesn't have those problems. It's a big ask for people to just want to play something like that, even if you do want to give it a chance and not take content creators' words as gospel, which you shouldn't do in the first place. The Rogue Core, I actually played Rogue Core co-op. There used to be a Discord of people that would play that game. I played with them for a few weeks. It was actually pretty fun. But it runs like buns, so I don't feel like the fact that it's critically maligned is deserved and undeserved. People haven't played the really bad Contra games. There's only so much patience you can have, though, when the game has so much input lag. I mean, it's an ugly-looking game. That was one of the things that it got a lot of shit for, was how badly it looked. Like, yeah, it's an ugly game. I don't need pristine graphics to enjoy a video game. I'm not that shallow with the games that I choose to play. But when it looks bad and it feels bad to play, I feel like the criticism is pretty warranted. That's my take on it, personally. I don't need AAA graphics, and AAA chasing photorealism is exactly what's making video games be so expensive to make, and how they like have to sell like millions of copies to break even. The chase for photorealism is a problem. So I'm totally fine playing stuff like the Kamen Rider games I played tonight, which looked old when they were new. They look even older now, but they have good gameplay. You know, that's all that really matters at the end of the day for me. And with mods, you can fix the performance problem, so there's like not really any technical downside anymore. It's when the game looks bad and it feels like, you know, your button presses don't get honored and stuff like that. That's when I draw the line. And that's kind of where I got with Contra. It's just like, this game isn't as bad as people are saying, but the performance complaints are well warranted. and nothing was done to fix it. I have the PC port of that game, and it runs like no better than the Switch, which is just embarrassing. At least uncap the frame rate for the PC version. Like, how hard is that? How does your engine not just scale up? But no, it doesn't. It still looks bad on PC, and it doesn't like run any better either. It's definitely not a game to play if you want to show off your PC. It don't matter what you got in there. Your rig, you got a 4090 and a 13th gen processor. It doesn't matter. It's gonna look the same as it does on everything else. Like zero difference. Absolutely no difference. You got a base Switch with like a 2-hour battery life. You got a base PS4, a PS5. You got the PC version with the 4090. It's gonna look like shit. Absolutely nothing you can do can change that. And it's gonna have like a full second of input lag. Like, do you really want to play something like that? I think most people will be inclined to say no. Yeah, I thought it was interesting how they balanced the loot in Rogue Core. Because I think that was one of the complaints as well, and I could tell those people didn't actually play the game, because the game was pretty challenging. It wasn't like Borderlands, where you could just like make guns that could like wipe the screen. I guess maybe you could eventually, but the first playthrough was pretty difficult. Same thing, you could say the same thing for Dynasty Warriors 9. That game is very similar too. It's like, it's not as bad as people say, but the performance at launch was abysmal. It was really bad. And it's like, people are going to be less likely to give your game a chance and look past the rough spots if it runs like garbage, because people suddenly started caring about performance now. And I'm like, yeah, it deserves to be maligned for the state that the port was in at launch. And they did fix some things, but it's mostly an Arkham Knight situation where a couple generations of hardware passed and you could run it with like mid-range hardware. But yeah, running that game at the start was really rough. It was a terrible performance on all platforms. It's like Cyberpunk, same thing. Cyberpunk was like, they didn't really deliver on their promises for one, and then also the last gen version was so bad that they had to stop selling it. The game was crashing constantly. Like, even if you could look past the fact that, like, okay, they kind of lied in the advertisements, the marketing for the game. A lot of stuff that was not there at all, that got added in over time. You know, it kept crashing. It ran at like 15 FPS. It's like, you know, you get to the point where it's like, the game isn't unplayable, but it's not enjoyable. And it's like, there's other stuff that you could play that might not have as high production values, but at least respects the fact that you have the appropriate hardware to play the game on. And doesn't run like shit. I think it's interesting when the opposite happens. Like, no one really talks about Hi-Fi Rush anymore, because there was nothing wrong with the game. It's just a straight good product. It ran perfectly on all platforms. It even runs on the Steam Deck. No shader compilation stutter. Like, just a solid game, but that doesn't generate as much buzz as it should. I don't even think that game is eligible in the Game Awards, as far as I know. They're like, yeah, this is one of the best games I've played this year. Especially being a PC gamer. Being a PC gamer and having so many shit ports this year. Hi-Fi Rush was a breath of fresh air. I gotta lock this game to 60 FPS. Otherwise it drops frames a lot. I think a lot of the people that said Rogue Core was the worst have not played the arcade Contra, because the arcade Contra kind of sucks. It's a similar transitional upgrade that happened with the arcade Double Dragon and the NES one. But pretty much all three Double Dragons on the NES are better than the arcade versions in every way. Like, that's pretty much the difference between arcade Contra and NES Contra. NES Contra might not have as good graphics, but it's a much better game. Same thing with the Double Dragon trilogy. Those games have aged like milk. The NES ones are still playable. I'm like, yeah, it's not the worst Contra. It's just they didn't put any effort into making it so people would actually want to give the game a chance, because they made it run like garbage. And I feel like it's warranted. It's warranted to not want to play something when it runs like shit. But yeah, I didn't actively hate that game at all. It wasn't bad. It wasn't completely awful. It really wasn't. I don't know. It's just like people. How do I put this? People trust content creators too much, because content creators dogpile on every bad game that comes out. They dogpile on it, even if they were praising it before. Like Yang Ye, for instance. He's a perfect example. The guy that's voicing Kiryu. He was talking about how excited he was for like Cyberpunk, and then of course frame one he starts making videos about how bad it was. I'm like, yeah, you overhyped the game, and now you're changing your tune because it's going to make you money. It's like content creators can be better than professional reviewers if they have the honesty and integrity that a lot of people don't have anymore. You know, people that like don't necessarily chase trends. They don't play like every single new game that's high profile, you know, just to favor the algorithm. People that like specialize on certain types of games, like people who review like fighting games or, you know, puzzle games or stuff like that, or shmups. You can trust their opinion, because they're obviously, if I'm any indication, they're not making much money. They're being honest, and they have integrity, because they know that their opinion doesn't really change, right? Like, nothing. If they shill the game, they're not going to make a lot of money. If they hate on it, they're not going to make much money either. Yeah, they're mostly just doing it as a hobby instead of a full-time job. It's interesting how much just random big channels can completely change the perception of a game, and they don't even fucking play it. Or, I think what's more harmful is when they don't go back and try the game after it's been patched. Because that's definitely something that happened with Cyberpunk as well. Cyberpunk is a lot better now from what I've heard, but there's still like countless videos shitting on it, you know? They've improved the game. Maybe they still didn't deliver all the things that they promised, but they did improve it. You can't say that they didn't. Alright, give me a sec here. I'm gonna put some music on, because I gotta put all my mods, my Switch mods, on, what's it called? I gotta put them on my external hard drive to work on the Steam Deck videos. So let me put some music on. Take a little time to do this while I got the hard drive hooked up. I think part of the problem as well is what's making the whole how easy it is for content creators to dogpile on a game and just kill any like good perception it has. Is because games are so expensive now, and there's so many of them coming out. Like, yeah, if you make a bunch of clickbait about how bad something is, people won't even try it. I feel like it was less that way when they didn't patch games so much, but now they can basically make a game completely different from the way it was at launch. Wo Long is a perfect example. Wo Long at launch was a shit game. It was a really bad game compared to even Stranger of Paradise. Stranger of Paradise was worse than Neo 2 in a lot of ways. And, like, it was a terrible game, and it's, like, much better now. I hated that game at launch. It ran like garbage, it stuttered like crazy, there was absolutely no depth to the combat, and they've changed, like, all those things. It's a much better game, but how many of those people that shat on it came back? Very few. Very few. Because it took, like, 6 months for it to become a good game. I don't know, it's just interesting to think about. It's one thing when people do that for movies, you know, the movie's not going to get, like, a content patch or a balance patch, right? The most that's going to happen to a movie is they put out like a director's cut or an extended cut of it. But with video games, it's weird that people can just shit on something so much when it launches, which is good. I think we should clap back at publishers and studios putting out bad products, but then, like, when it gets fixed, people don't go back. And then people look at the videos and they see somebody shitting on it that's got like 300,000 views. They think that the game hasn't changed. I mean, in some cases that's true. There definitely are some games that are abandoned, but Wo Long's a pretty good example, and Cyberpunk as well. Games that didn't meet expectations, but then, like, they became much better games later on. But there's no money in being positive. It's all about the drama bait. Getting people interested in the next train wreck instead of, like, actually having passion. Alright, let me get these codes off really quick. Give me some time here. $70 games are long overdue. They're long overdue. It's just the problem with making them $70 is that they're not going to stop nickel and diming. They're not going to stop having $30 skins and characters and content cut out to sell it to you later. They're not going to stop doing that. That's the issue with it. The issue is not in them raising the price. It's just the games are a lot worse. There's so many games this year that launched in abysmal states, and they want $70 for it. It's like, well, if you're going to up the price, I expect the quality to rise, right? And it's not even about whether you like the game or not, because that's subjective. There are people that like games that are maligned. There's people that like Contra Rogue Core. What's not okay is when it runs like shit, and it's buggy, and broken, and half-finished, and crashes constantly. We've had a lot of that this year. It's like, well, you need to get that shit in check before you start charging us more money. Period. I don't mind paying extra for a good product if there's less nickel and diming and monetization, and it actually works day one. I don't have to wait $6 months for the game to be playable. I'm fine with that. But this year has proven that that's not what we're gonna get. We're gonna get the opposite. They're gonna charge us more for a worse product. That's pretty much exactly what's happening right now. It's sad, but I mean that's exactly what we're dealing with right now. They totally deserve all the clapbacks they're getting for delivering shit products. It's like changing the price up $10 has done absolutely nothing. It's just like the inflation everywhere else. They charge us so much money for the exact same thing. Now games are doing it too. I want an extra $10 out of you, but the game still doesn't work, by the way. It's still completely broken. Yeah, that shit's gotta stop. Jedi Survivor was really funny this year. That was one of the funniest ports, because it was just, like, terrible on all platforms, and so buggy. Like, you want $70 for this? There's indie games released this year that are better, just on the basis of actually fucking working at launch. You wanna charge us more money for a worse product? Fuck out of here. I think the most backwards thing about the AAA gaming industry is that they tried to get us to buy the game on day one, right? Because that's when they make the most money. With all the pre-order bonuses and the premium editions, ultimate editions and stuff. But then, like, the state that the games have released in, especially this year, both on PC and console, but especially PC, it makes people want to wait. Because if you wait 6 months, the game will be like half off if you look hard enough. And probably have more content and actually be functional. It just makes no sense. That's exactly what they're doing. They want you to buy the games right away. Like, you need to buy this now. Like, don't wait. You need to buy it right this instant. But then, the game doesn't fucking work and you're waiting months anyway. So what ends up is you end up with a coaster that doesn't function. It's like, which one is it? I'm definitely very wary when I buy a new PC game now, even if I know it's something I'm going to like. Like, if there's straight up no guesswork, there's no guesswork on whether I'll like the game, it's just whether the game will actually function. That's like the biggest thing. And I'm like, man, I got the money for this, I'll probably like it, but is it going to be garbage? Is it going to run like 20 FPS? It's like, you're not safe even if you know it's something you're going to like. You have to do so much research. Especially if you're on PC. You can't give them the benefit of the doubt on PC. You're asking for trouble if you do that. Alright, I got all the saves backed up already, but I had to get the 60 FPS cheats, so those are all on my hard drive, my external hard drive, so I can put them on the Steam Deck now. I was like, yeah, well, I'm thinking I should probably do it before I forget. I get out of. I've been working on that video away from home mostly.
しないと。絶対に許しません。遅すぎます。さあ、終焉の光を与えましょう。悪夢の終わりをここに宣告します。誰でもいいからかかってください。これくらいの痛みなら平気。無駄です。さあ、終焉の光を与えましょう。悪夢の終わりをここに宣告します。人事勝利、敵の隙をつけます。誰でもいいからできると思っている。どうぞリスク絶対に許しません。さあ、終焉の光を与えましょう。悪夢の終わりをここに宣告します。光明の結晶よ、私たちの光を生まれ変わらせてください。絶対に許します。さあ、終焉の光を与えましょう。悪夢の終わりをここに宣告します。人事消滅、敵の隙を光明の結晶よ、 こに宣告します。敵の亡命の結晶よ、私たちの光を与え、生まれ変わらせてください。貫け壮大のやり。いつの日か全ての障害を乗り越える。
I'm gonna save cancel. Wait. Overwrite record, really? You know what? I don't really care. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it. I'm an ultimate pain cage. And when you're an ultimate pain cage, you have to be a whale, and I'm only a dolphin. To rank high, you need like triple S everybody and like a pet, and you need to reset a ton, and I just don't really care that much because I do spend money on the game, not as much as most people do, but most people that play Ultimate, but I can't place that high no matter how hard I try, because I'm actually pretty limited by my characters. Some of them are pretty decked out, but you need like pretty much all of them. There's a lot of RNG as well, and it's like, you know, I just don't care. That's kind of the nice thing about this game. That might sound like a complaint, but I actually really like how if you spend even a little money on this game, there's no reason to mold over stuff like that. The game is set up in a way where if you spend at least a little bit on the game, like just the monthly card and like maybe like a package here and there, you don't need to mold over stuff like that. It's just gonna lower your lifespan. It's not worth it. I actually really like that instead of you have to do every event, you have to do everything possible to level up your characters. Like, yeah, I'd probably drop like maybe $30 a month on this game, depending on what patch it is. You know, like this patch, I pretty much just bought the battle pass. I bought the Rosetta skin as well, mostly just because she's not getting power crept anytime soon. I think it looks better than the base skin. But other than that, I didn't really cash much this patch. Next patch is next week, actually. Let me see how many African American cards I've got. I'm only going for double S3, so yeah, if I buy like one package, I should be able to get double S3 guaranteed. And then, how many weapon cards do I have? Like none. Let's see, what is the weapon pass? I might go ahead and cop that before he arrives. I've never bought the weapon pass before. Yeah, that might be useful. I hear he really needs his 6-star weapon. I already bought the stamina on the black card. Let me see. Do they have anything in here? Yeah, that one would probably do it right there. What's my pity at? I don't know what my pity is at actually, because I haven't pulled on anything in like over a patch now. Pity's at 3. Okay, I can get his pet guaranteed as well. Yeah, I have 24,000. It takes 30,000 for pity. 2 pities. 2 pities is 30,000 black cards. So you can get him early, but it's always best to prepare for going to pity twice. Alright, well, I'm in pretty good shape, actually. Better shape than I thought I was. I'm only going double S3. I'm not going triple S. Triple S is just for whales, pretty much. I don't really care about scoring that much. I'll try for a good score, but I won't, like, really mold over it. It's just not worth it. I go ahead and look in here, actually. Yeah, I'm pretty much ready to max him out right away. Looking at all the stuff I have. Yeah. Yeah, he should get maxed, like, instantly. I should probably get a little bit more money here. A couple of these. There we go. So let me do some re-rolls, actually. Let's do some re-rolls. I kind of don't want to spend any of my resonances right now because I'm going to spend them on Lee. Yeah, she's almost maxed out. Almost maxed character. Yeah, I have just like barely enough. Let's just go ahead and max her out. I don't care. Look at that, maxed. Maxed character. The only thing that's left to max is the pet and one more resonance. But resonances are kind of hard to get as a dolphin. Let me see, what resonances does she have? I have to check what's actually really good for her, but yeah, I need to do that for her. I might actually do that at the end of this patch. Count's looking pretty nice. He's gonna get power crept in a week. I'm gonna miss him. They made him really fun to play. I really liked the leap. His leap was really good. But yeah, he's going bye-bye. He's gonna be only used in events and what else? Events in Norman. Same thing with him. Patch after the next. Isla's gonna replace him. Let's see here. Yeah, these are the characters I don't use. So what was the best game you guys played this year? Because I'm thinking of doing a my own little game awards. Because despite all the shitty PC ports, I think I've actually had a pretty good gaming year. There was a lot of good under-the-radar stuff this year. Star Ocean Second Story remake was really good. Wo Long started out really shitty, but became a good game over time. SD Shin Kamen Rider Rumble was really good. What else did I play this year that was new and not retro? Blaze Blue Entropy Effect. It's also one of my games of this year. X Dive Offline was pretty good too. There's been a lot of mods for that game that I got to go back and do some videos on. Pirate Warriors 4 DLC was actually a huge step in the right direction. It doesn't really fix most of the problems with the game, but at least it gave it an end game. I thought that they really turned that game around. Uh, what else? Double Dragon Gaiden was alright. I wouldn't say it was one of my games of the year. We got a Ninja Warriors port. What else? Those are Hi-Fi Rush as well. Hi-Fi Rush would probably be up there on my list for this year. In terms of existing content for existing games, I'll have to sit here and think. 30XX went 1.0 this year. Grace Counter GM I actually really liked too. That's basically it. Those were the best games I played this year. And then honorable mention to Battride War Genesis, even though it's an old game, because the frame rate mod makes it so much better. Definitely give an honorable mention to that game. BASARA 120 FPS mod and the English patch. Not crashing was also a really big thing this year as well. You're not going to see any of those games at the Game Awards, by the way. But yeah, I think it'd be pretty manageable for me to make a couple videos about my games of the year, because some of those games didn't get too much attention. But yeah, it was a pretty good year for action games, I'd say. Wo Long especially, I actually ended up really liking. It's just it launched in an embarrassingly bad state, but it became a good game over time. It only took them like 7 months, but they did actually deliver a good product. But yeah, they definitely don't deserve any mercy with the criticism that they got, because mechanically and technically the game's a complete mess. But yeah, Wo Long was kind of an underdog for me this year. I kind of went into it knowing I wasn't going to like it, but I still bought it. I still stuck with it because I believed in Team Ninja to fix their shit, because they always do. Team Ninja might not have the best graphics, their storytelling sucks, their ports aren't great, but they do put pretty serious amount of effort into improving the product that they make and actually listening to feedback, and I feel like that's something that's very underappreciated these days. A lot of these companies don't care about our feedback. So I definitely would put Wo Long pretty low on the list. Even though I played it a good 100 hours, I would still put it pretty low, just because of the state that it launched in. I feel that's fair. You don't want to pull a Cyberpunk and just say the game is better now because they made an anime about it, because that's pretty much what happened with Cyberpunk. You're like, okay, you made an anime on Netflix, that doesn't mean that you delivered on your promise. Talking about making games $70 now, yeah. Dragon's Dogma 2 is Capcom's first $70 game. But I feel like if anybody's warranted in raising the price, it's them, because their games have had very few technical problems at all. Everyone else, it's kind of sketch. I'm like, I don't know, man. The quality of these games at launch has been abysmal, so I don't think that's worth an extra $10 of hard-earned money. And Capcom has been pretty good technically, whether you like their games or not. The technical aspect of them has been very good, so a lot of people are complaining about it. Yeah, I get the complaints, but Capcom has earned it, in my opinion. There's been a lot of garbage ports this year. This has been one of the worst years to be a PC gamer. I don't expect next year. I think next year might be even worse. Mostly because we're actually starting to get current gen exclusive ports. The Final Fantasy 16 PC port is probably going to be a disaster. Because that game barely runs on the PS5. It targets 60 FPS, but it has a fuck ton of dynamic resolution scaling, and then it still can't hold a 60 FPS target. I don't expect that to go over well when they make a port of that game. Fat chance. That's definitely not something I would pre-order. Let a more financially fortunate person test that shit out. That's a disaster in the making right there. Switch ports is just greed. It's just greed. That's all it is. It's wanting the money from the largest install base for consoles and not having the hardware to actually deliver a playable game. The Batman games run terribly. They run better on, like, the Steam Deck, which is not much more expensive than the Switch. And the games are, like, 90% off all the time, so complete joke. They want $60 for those old-ass games, and they don't even run well. It's just laughable. Some people don't understand what Switch tax is. I'm like, those Batman ports are the epitome of Switch tax. They're charging you so much money for these old games, and they don't even run well. And like a halfway decent computer, or even the Steam Deck, could run it way better for like not much more money. Those ports are not worth $60, even if they were good ports. Because those games are on sale like every week. They're on sale like every week on PC. They're like $5. They're like the price of a Happy Meal. So how are you going to tell me you're going to charge me over 10 times more for those games, and they barely function. That's why I'm glad I got the Steam Deck. I was glad I was responsible with that sponsorship, because I don't have to deal with Switch tax anymore. Switch tax is awful. I don't see many people complain about Switch tax anymore. I'm like, it's always been a thing. You're paying a premium to have it on a Nintendo platform. That's basically it. You're paying a lot of extra money to have it on Nintendo. That's it. It's not worth the money most of the time. There are some times where it is. You know, you get the game portable and you can play it anywhere. But the amount of new games that meet that criteria is very low these days. They try to put more and more high-end stuff on hardware from 6 years ago. No, Batman Arkham Knight just can't escape being ported badly. It's kind of like the whole theme of Batman, where he can't escape his past and his trauma. That's basically what Batman Arkham Knight is, because we're just going through round 2 of the launch version of the PC port of that game, which was so bad that they had to stop selling it. Somehow that's happening again. History has repeated itself. They put that game that barely ran on computers that were better than the Switch at the time. They're putting it on the Switch for some reason, and lo and behold, it's surprised Pikachu it doesn't work. They're gonna put that game on the PS2 next, I swear. Gonna make a PS2 backport of Arkham Knight. It has like 5-minute load times and runs at 10 FPS. I feel like that's the timeline we're getting to. The rate things are going. Let's just put it on Texas Instruments calculator. Anything for a quick buck. They'll keep finding ways to make bad Arkham Knight ports just when you thought it was over. It's like even the Steam Deck can run that game significantly better than computers could at the time. Like, nope, not out of the woods yet. He got another broken port of this game. Straight out of a horror movie. When you thought it was over, nope, it's not over. I should tell this story about Arkham Knight. A streamer I used to watch, he bought that game at launch, and he just had the magical computer that could run that game perfectly. I watched him play through that game. And then they did the whole thing where it got delisted, and they had to issue refunds because they didn't know how to make a working product. He beat the game 100% and he got a refund. Total Giga Chad move, like, the game actually worked for him somehow. I don't even think he really had, like, a super overpowered computer back then. But, like, somehow it just worked for him. He got his money back. He played through the whole game. I'm like, yeah, I'd do that too. They don't deserve your money. Even if it worked for you, they don't deserve it on the basis of trying to swindle everybody else. I still think about that to this day. I saw him refund that game. Total Giga Chad move. I was actually really shocked that Jedi Survivor didn't get to that point. It really felt like it was on the cusp. It really felt like it was on the cusp of being like the next PC Arkham Knight, but I guess they managed to push out just enough patches to avoid that, but I really do feel like their product wasn't in much better state. People with like 4090s could barely run it. I feel like they lucked out, personally. They had the heart of the cards. Because that game's launch state was not much better. In terms of all the bugs and crashes and running poorly.
仕事しすぎも考えもんだね。
何か聞きたい？
DLC for this is out next week. A week from today. And there's like no information on it at all. I feel like they've made the PC port better, they've improved the game in pretty much every facet, but then the marketing is terrible. We should know pretty much everything about the final DLC by now, but there's no trailer, don't even know what the new weapon is, what new content there's going to be, just straight nothing. I don't understand what they're doing with the marketing with this game. I feel like they should be more upfront. Like, the DLC actually improves the game a lot, but their idea of marketing is 3-second clips on Twitter. Like, why don't you give the patch to people that are good at the game? Why don't you give it to them early, like the actual Team Ninja action RPG players, not randos with lots of subs? Why don't you do that? Just like let them play for a couple hours and like don't. That obviously would be under like a strict embargo, but at least have somebody who knows what they're doing playing the game and giving their thoughts on it and stuff. That's kind of what they're doing with Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. That game's like over a month away, and they've already had people, I guess, I don't know if it's like some kind of build with like a strict NDA or like a demo or something, but there's a lot of gameplay of that up already from like actual decent players. I mean, some of them are the large channels that don't really know how to play, but it's cool that they're doing that. And it's a shame that they've made this game so much better and they have like absolutely no idea how to market it. I feel like the marketing for this game for me has been playing it myself and being in the hardcore Neo player Discord. Which is not how it should be. I shouldn't have to go on a Discord of other fans to just figure out what's in the content they're selling. I don't know. The marketing does not help the fact that people still think the game is the way it was 8 months ago, and it's not. It's a exponentially better game now, but the marketing just tells you, hey, look, here's a 3-second clip of this monster. I'm like, okay, well, can you show us more? The season pass is like $30. I imagine probably sometime this week they'll say something about it, but I don't know, with the Game Awards in 2 days, I don't know when they can actually fit that in. Yeah, there's supposed to be a new weapon. I guess there'll be a final story expansion. There'll be 8-star gear. That's pretty much all I can really surmise, but I hope that they add more stuff. I hope they add more martial arts. And like more fun sets, because like the set bonuses in that game are kind of boring. I hope that's one of the things that they improve. But yeah, their marketing is shit with Wolong. You should be yelling it from the rooftops that the game is much better now, and it's about to get even better. And nope, here's a 3-second clip. It's their idea of marketing. I think I'm going to go ahead and go, folks. I might come back in a little bit, but I'm going to take my meds and see if I want to get more rest and stuff. I want to have a snack as well, so I'm going to go ahead and go instead of streaming a bunch of dead air. So, thanks for watching. I will be streaming the Game Awards. Let's see here. What time is the Game Awards at? Does anyone know? I know it's in 2 days, but what time is it at? I don't remember how... The Game Awards goes for like 2 or 3 hours, right? Because I gotta work at my neighbor's house. So I actually don't know if I can stream that, because I took off today. I might just ask Scott to, I might just do the afternoon shift, and then he can do it at night, but that kind of depends on them, so... What time is it at? I actually don't remember how long the Game Awards goes. I would like to stream it, but I don't know with caregiving if that's going to be something I can actually do. Let me look it up. Give me a sec. I don't want to make a promise I can't keep. But yeah, I'll be playing a lot of Wolong on these casual gaming streams because the DLC's out in like a week. I gotta catch up a little bit. I kind of stopped playing for like a month. Let's see here. It's at 4:30. You know, I might actually just, let's see how we can do this. I have some decent predictions on the shadow drops. I think Hades 2 is going to get released in early access. And the only reason I'm saying that is because the first one was. A lot of people don't know this, but the first Hades was announced at the Game Awards, and it was early access that night, but on the Epic Game Store, so no one fucking played it. So this time, I really think that they might actually do that. I don't really have any other predictions, but I do have some. I'll go ahead and I'll say this. I have some money saved up for a shadow drop, because generally with Nintendo Directs and Game Awards, the shit that they shadow drop does not interest the average person, but me with my weird taste in games. It tends to be shit I'm like really excited for, like when they dropped the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle. I like pre-ordered that shit like instantly. Yeah, I have like $70 saved in my wallet just for the Game Awards. So in the event that that happens, I will probably buy the game right away. I predict a lot of vaporware this year, honestly. I feel like they don't have too many games ready to show that are actually coming in a timely manner. I mean, they officially announced Grand Theft Auto 6 yesterday, and it's still like over a year away. So I don't know what else they could really have. A lot of people are saying Elden Ring DLC. That's highly likely as well, but I don't think it'll be a shadow drop. It'll probably be to celebrate like the 3rd anniversary of the game or something. That's probably highly likely. Anything else is kind of a crapshoot. I haven't really seen too many leaks. They've managed to keep the leaks under control. The GTA6 leak has nothing to do with the Game Awards. That was just incompetence on Rockstar's part. Putting the premiere up as a trailer so somebody could rip it. But other than that, I don't have any expectations, and I don't really have any predictions. I think Hades 2 at least getting a... If it doesn't get shadow dropped, I think there's a disproportionate high chance of it being... it getting a release date. Yeah, if you look here... Oh, actually, no, never mind. It says Q2 2024. Well, they'll probably announce a release date for Hades 2. I don't know, I just don't know what they could announce that I would be interested in. I can't really think of anything, to be honest with you. There's a lot of hopium right now that they're going to release a Dynasty Warriors 10 trailer, and I kind of had to bring people back down to earth because they're not going to announce that game at Game Awards of all things. The only thing Muso related that would get announced at Game Awards would be a Megaton franchise Muso, like if they did like a Star Wars Muso or Jujutsu Kaisen or My Hero or something. that would get announced at Game Awards because it has such a broader appeal than Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors. But a lot of people have a lot of hopium they're going to announce Dynasty Warriors 10. I'm like, extremely low chance. That is more likely to get announced at like a Tokyo Game Show, if anything. And then you gotta wonder, you gotta do the mental gymnastics of are they actually gonna fucking show gameplay or just a CG trailer, which doesn't really help at all. Yeah, a lot of Muso fans are super hyped for that. I'm like, man, you gotta temper your expectations. I don't know. On one hand, it could happen because they announced some really weird shit at Game Awards, and like nobody ever talks about those games or plays them. They always have those like weird off-kilter indie games that like no one seems to care about. It's not impossible. I would say it's highly implausible that they will do that. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be 4:30. I think worst case scenario, if Scott doesn't want to feed the cats on Thursday, I I might just leave the stream on and feed them and come back. And then you guys can just ping me in Discord if they announce something I care about. That might be the wave. I hadn't really thought about that when I took a day off today. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Good night.